There is only one way to reach true greatness, and it is through obsession, not curiosity, not casual interest, not a weekend passion. Obsession, the kind that devours you, reshapes you, and refuses to let you go. It is not something you do. It becomes something you are. Every person faces a moment in life where two paths open. The first is safe, predictable, secure, socially approved. It is the path of comfort. The second path is treacherous, uncertain, filled with struggle, but alive with meaning. The first path leads to quiet existence, the second to obsession. And obsession, more than anything else in our age, has become the new religion. Why? Because people need something to worship, and in the absence of gods carved in stone, they have turned their devotion to dreams, goals, and ambitions. The new sacred spaces are offices, studios, gyms, laboratories, and digital platforms. The new rituals are the long hours, the sacrifices, the relentless pursuit. Obsession has become our altar. Nietzsche saw this coming. He once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." The why is obsession. The how is suffering. When life is organized around a consuming purpose, suffering is no longer meaningless, it becomes holy. Struggle itself becomes ritual. Carl Jung went further. He believed our deepest dreams are not random, they are inner necessities. Part of a process he called individuation, becoming whole. To ignore these dreams is to fracture the soul. To follow them is to step into destiny, but Jung also warned of the danger. When obsession loses balance with reality, when it inflates the ego, it destroys rather than elevates. Without awareness, obsession turns into fanaticism. It becomes less like faith and more like possession. This tension, salvation versus destruction, is at the heart of why obsession has become the new religion. Like all religions, it can sanctify, but it can also consume. Consider Vincent van Gogh. He was not driven by comfort, nor by wealth, nor by fame. He lived and breathed for one thing, art. Painting was not a hobby. It was his scripture. The canvas was his altar, the brush his prayer. During his life, he sold almost nothing. He lived in poverty, often hungry. He was mocked, misunderstood, and dismissed by society. His own mind rebelled against him. Despite rejection and pain, Van Gogh never abandoned his obsession. It consumed him. He created more than 2,000 works each. When a fragment of his devotion, he sacrificed stability, health, even his sanity. And yet, in this sacrifice, he left behind a vision of beauty that reshaped the world. The swirling skies of starry night, the burning yellows of sunflowers, the portraits that seem to breathe, these are relics of his faith. Van Gogh's obsession crowned him as one of the greatest artists in history. But it also crucified him. He died unknown, tormented, and alone. Only after his death did the world recognize the sanctity of his devotion. Van Gogh's life is both a testament and a warning. Obsession can elevate. Obsession can destroy. That is why it resembles religion. It requires total devotion. It asks for sacrifice, and its reward is transcendence, but never without a price. Look around today, and you will see new temples of obsession everywhere. The entrepreneur who spends nights in a garage, chasing a vision that no one else believes in. The athlete who trains past exhaustion, worshipping the god of victory. The scientist who disappears into a lab for years, sacrificing comfort for discovery. The artist who bleeds their soul into music, words, or film, chasing immortality through creation. These are not hobbies. They are religions. Each requires ritual, repetition, sacrifice, devotion. Each requires faith, the belief that the dream is worth it, even when the results are invisible. And each demands offerings, time, health, relationships, sanity. But obsession is not evenly distributed. Some obsessions elevate, they create beauty, innovation, progress. Others consume, they create destruction, addiction, and ruin. That is why we must ask, which altar are we kneeling at? Every religion asks for sacrifice. Obsession is no different. Time is the first offering. Obsession devours hours, days, years. It makes you forget weekends, birthdays, even sleep. Relationships are the second offering. Friends drift away. Partners feel abandoned. Families suffer. Health is the third offering. Bodies break. Minds unravel. Because obsession rarely allows rest, Van Gogh paid this price. So did countless others, inventors, athletes, creators, leaders. History is filled with those who gave everything to their obsession. Some emerged as prophets of progress. Others collapsed as martyrs of madness. The cost is inevitable. The only question is whether the sacrifice sanctifies or destroys. This is why obsession mirrors religion so closely. It has its saints, those who achieved greatness because of it. It has its martyrs, those who were consumed by it. It has its rituals, long hours, strict habits, daily degradans. It has its scriptures, manifestos, journals, works of art, theories, designs. It has its rewards, transcendence, legacy, immortality. But like every religion, obsession can also turn dark. Without awareness, it becomes fanaticism. Without balance, it destroys the very self it was meant to fulfill. The truth is simple. Obsession is fire. In one hand, it warms and illuminates. In the other, it burns and destroys. So what does this mean for us? Living in the 21st century, in an age where old religions fade, it means we cannot escape obsession. It will come for each of us in some form. The question is not whether we will be obsessed, but by what will we be obsessed: with creation or with destruction, with truth or with illusion, with building or with consuming. To live without obsession is to drift, aimless and hollow. But to live with blind obsession is to lose yourself entirely. The key is not to reject obsession, but to harness it, to let it sanctify rather than consume. In the end, obsession has become the new religion because it gives what people crave most: meaning, a job, a dream, a cause, an idea. These have replaced temples and scriptures. They are the things people give their lives to, and like gods of the past, they are jealous. They demand everything. So the question is no longer, do you believe? The question is, what do you worship? Because you are already worshipping something. You are already sacrificing something. The only question is whether the altar you kneel at will elevate you or destroy you. Obsession is not the enemy. It is the fire, handled with reverence. It will light your way. Handled without awareness, it will consume you whole. So it'll leave you with this. In this new religion of obsession, are you the believer or are you the sacrifice?